Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was the very impressive Madison Square Garden rally last night. They said there was as many as 200,000 people on a wait list to go to this. It's first come, first serve, and the capacity of Madison Square Garden is only around 18, 19K. There was more people at this rally because they have floor seating with it being a rally. So maybe it was around 22 or 23,000, but obviously there was a lot more people wanting to get to this rally and get in. Apparently, people were waiting outside the night before. Obviously, there was a ton of speakers. A lot of them I was surprised by. You had Dr. Phil, you had Tulsi, you had Vivek, you had Tucker Carlson. Obviously, Elon comes in with the Dark MAGA stuff. But I thought Tucker was really, really good. I thought Vivek was very energized. It was kind of a short speech, but they just kind of, it was one of those things where they really wasted no time. Hulk Hogan comes in. This was almost like, it kind of felt like the grand finale when you're watching a fireworks show and they just bring in all the heavy hitters, like at the end when all the fireworks go off at once. And this is kind of like the closing pitch for Donald Trump here as we enter the final week. And now there's reports Trump going to New Mexico, Trump going to Virginia, expanding that map. But we're going to get to this here. Unforgettable scenes from the rally. The first thing, you did have Tony Hinchcliffe. This is what was people kind of picked out, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, is this going to be a problem?" Tony Hinchcliffe making a joke about the Puerto Ricans, calling Puerto Rico a trash heap in the middle of the ocean. Obviously, he's a comedian. That's a very tame joke. They're pissed off. They could never have a rally like that, they being the Democrats. And so they have to cling to something that a comedian says at the beginning of the rally, like 4 hours before Trump even speaks. It's hilarious. Like it's just ridiculous how desperate they've gotten to where they're clinging to something like this, like a joke. And of course, it was all, once they saw that was 1000% their cue. And the Democrats, to where their strategy was go after this, go after this, go after this. And so they do all the fake outrage. Tim Walz and AOC, I don't know if they were reacting to the entire, I highly doubt it, but like it was like this fake reaction where it's almost like you would see with a YouTuber where the YouTuber's in the corner like I am right now, and you're watching a reaction to a video. That was Tim Walz and AOC. You had Tim Walz playing Madden with AOC. Like that's how pathetic it is yesterday. And they're talking about like politics while they're playing. So it was just all fake. To me, it was it's just a joke. There's really nothing. That's what comedians do. They make jokes about everyone. And of course, that's what they're going to say. They're going to say we make jokes about everyone. It's not just they just pick out a certain comment and say, oh, they're racist when he's making jokes about everyone. Vivek Ramaswamy brought major energy. Yeah, Vivek was really, really good. It was a short speech for him, but it was very good. And you can tell Vivek wants to be a leader. That's what I was saying last night when I was watching it. Tulsi Gabbard comes in and talks. I would love to see Tulsi in Virginia as well for a rally there. I think she would appeal to the voters extremely well, especially some of the, independent voters that broke for Youngkin in 2021. But she also came on and spoke. You had I forgot to even mention RFK comes out. RFK Jr.'s voice sounded really good. And people were saying that last night in my stream. And I was like, yeah, you're actually right. RFK's voice, it sounds a little bit better. And RFK Jr. is such a major asset for Trump. I mean, RFK Jr., Tulsi, Elon, the people that Trump's been able to get, it is pretty crazy. Tucker Carlson comes out. I think Tucker probably gave, you could argue, the best speech out of all of them, because it was really like almost a different, he was like dissecting the Democratic Party and really explaining people's frustration with everything that's going on from a Republican point of view. It was a really good speech. You had Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan originally tore the wrong shirt, and so he was trying to. He had two shirts. He tore the one inside, and then he was able to. He tore the Trump Vance one a little bit first. It was funny, but he came out. You had Dr. Phil come out. Dr. Phil gave a long speech, and it was good. Many people liked it. You also had JD Vance come out. He gave a little short speech. You had Dana White come out. You had Elon Musk. This dude introduced Elon Musk. There's Elon right there. So, this was a pretty crazy rally. Oh, man. And then Elon introduces Melania. You can see there's Elon with a dark MAGA hat. And then Melania introduced Trump, and then Trump came out and spoke. I think Trump spoke for like around an hour or so. But either way, this is the closing ceremony. This is the final statement. We still got a week and everything like that. We get it. But with what the Trump campaign is doing, they're going to New Mexico, they're going to Virginia. You would have to really, I mean, there's two things you could be thinking. They think, well, they've been to Pennsylvania so many times, they've been to Michigan so many times. Visiting there again won't make a big difference, and we need to go to these other places to maybe expand our map. Or they're saying we're up by 3 or 4 points in the Rust Belt. We should go to places to try and expand it that way. So there's a few different things they could be thinking. But with this rally, listen, it's something that Harris never would have. There's just no energy with her. I mean, it's 30,000 in a soccer field, and you have to have Beyonce and tell everyone Beyonce is going to perform, and then Beyonce doesn't even perform, and people get pissed off. And that's the same thing that happened with the DNC when they said there's going to be in. That's what they do. They have to rope these people in with some type of celebrity that doesn't end up showing up. And that's just kind of the reality in terms of that. President Trump sold out MSG and didn't lie about having a free Beyonce concert. Well, listen, selling out MSG is a little bit of an understatement. MSG, there was only probably 25,000 there because that's the total capacity, but he could have gotten 200K. That's the whole thing. He very easily could have gotten at least over 100K with the speakers that they had. It was a star-studded group. People were comparing it to the RNC, and I mean, maybe you could even say it's better than the RNC because it was heavy hitters, boom, 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 rather than taking 20 minutes in between like what the RNC does, and expanding it over 4 days. So this was really, really, really impressive. And you can see what Elon says in the quote. It was full to the rafters. Every seat in the house. There were over 70,000 people standing in support outside. So yeah, that's the overflow. There was also 70,000 people outside of Madison Square Garden that I'm guessing were trying to line up to get in. But with the capacity being only 20 to 25,000, they can only let the first 25,000 in. So there were even 70,000 in New York City waiting to try and get into MSG that weren't allowed because it's a first come, first serve, because you can't have tickets because liberals will buy the tickets, reserve the seats, and then not show up, and it'll make it look empty. So that was really what's going on there. So this, listen, it's a very, very good closing statement. Oh, yeah, and here's Bill Clinton at MSG. Yeah, every MSG rally that an American politician hosts, it must be a Nazi rally, right? What about MSNBC having on the bottom of their screen a headline? They were like, Donald Trump hosts a rally, and then it compares it to Nazi. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It said Trump has a rally in Madison Square Garden, and also there was a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden. It was an American Nazi rally in 1939 or whatever. And so they put that at the bottom of the screen. But MSNBC, I mean, it's just pure propaganda. They're not going to change anyone's mind. Anyone that's watching MSNBC is already voting for Kamala Harris anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But either way, oh yeah, let's listen to this.
Project 2025 from Personal Freedoms. I think a lot of
Let's
folks
just see
on
what
here,
Walls is saying.
unbelievable. No, and I keep going back to this. This is Project 2025 from Personal Freedoms. I think a lot of folks on here are kind of independent folks, independent thinkers about things. Why would you want the government telling you what books to read or what doctor to see or how big your family can be? That kind of stuff is ridiculous. And so
they're talking about Project 2025 while playing Madden.
Think you talk about football planning. It's the same way. If you're going to draw up a playbook in football, you're going to use it. Those guys drew up a playbook, and it's Project 2025.
And they put millions of dollars into Project 2025. You don't spend millions of dollars without.
Trump put millions of dollars in. The Heritage Foundation releases. I mean, that's a standard thing that they release every 4 years for the next president, or if the Republicans do win. But either way, guys, that is the MSG Trump rally. Honestly, there were more speakers than I thought. Will it have an impact? I think it'll probably have you can see it says here it's going to have a big impact. But I think pretty much everyone already knows at this point who they're voting for. There's probably some independents still out there. It's about getting people to vote. It's about the enthusiasm. That's what this helps when you get this propaganda stuff. This is what helps get people on the fence that normally don't vote, first-time voters, to go vote. And I think it's going to help Trump significantly in terms of that. But at this point, there's really not a lot of independent voters. We're so late into the ball game. It's about getting people to the polls. And I think this will help because it's just the propaganda and the energy of every major Republican, or a lot of the major Republicans, being in the same place and firing people up with a massive crowd and everything like that. Because that's something the Democrats, I mean, they haven't done. We'll see if they do something like that with the Obama and stuff, and Biden. But even that, it just looks so disingenuous compared to what this was. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.